Well, hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com here with you again to share something I'm super excited about. And it's this new release from Whimsy Stamps. This is the Potions Bottle Dies, and I knew I wanted to create this into a gift box right when I saw it. But I have a lot of other examples of how to use this Potion Bottles die and some of the other new products, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But this is the little box that I've created, the gift box, to add some Halloween candy in it. And I'm going to make one for you, show you how this comes together, and also, like I say, show you a lot of other examples using this die, making some cards and some embellishments and some tags, lots of things. Here are a couple other products that came out at the same time. This is the Potion Bottle Labels, which is really cool to have a stamp set to match. And then we have the Potion Bottle Labels Washi stickers. And let me just open this up and show you how cool these are. These are sized just perfectly to fit on the front of the potion bottles. And see here, you just peel them off and they're like stickers. So cool. And there's lots of them. So look at all of these right here that you get. I am just inspired. I know there's a lot to be made with these. And then look at, there's another sheet right here. So many things you can do. Lots of different decorating things you can do to the bottle to make it match the washi stickers. And this is kind of, this is unlike anything I've ever seen. So I was really excited to get to play with these today. So let's jump right in and get started with the boxes. I started out making some sample boxes. The first one I made was way too big, but I knew I wanted those sides to be a little taller so that it could hold some of that candy in there and some other little gifts. So I cut a square piece of cardstock to 4.5 by 4.5 inches. And you could make it a little bit smaller if you wanted to. This was the size that I thought fit pretty perfectly with those potion bottles. And then I'm going to score it at 1 1/4 and 3 1/4, just like this. And then I'll turn the paper just a quarter turn and do that one more time so that essentially we have it scored on each side, just like this. And then we're going to fold on those score lines. Just fold those down, and I like to use a bone folder. This is a Teflon bone folder, and I'll just reinforce those score lines as I fold them. This will create a nice, strong box, and it will help reinforce those score lines so that we get a really good, crisp edge on each of the boxes sides. So now I'm going to cut the score lines just on two sides, two opposite sides. And I will also trim a little triangle piece off of each of the ends. Why I do this is so that it can fold a lot easier, a lot nicer. And I actually end up cutting a little triangle on both of the ends of that one tab. So see here, I'm going to cut on the inside just a small little triangle, just like this. And then I also cut on the outside of that same tab. I guess I didn't show you that on the video, but it's okay. It'll work either way. But I did find if I cut it off the other end as well, then I didn't get any discrepancies in the top of the box as it came together. I'm going to add some strong score tape here on those tabs. You could also use liquid adhesive, and as I was putting together a lot of these boxes, I found the liquid adhesive was a lot faster for me, so I ended up using liquid adhesive on all the extra boxes that I made. You'll see, I got a little carried away maybe. And then you just fold those tabs in and put the box together just like this. Now we can cut out all the pieces for these boxes. So I'm going to cut out the main piece, the inside piece, the little cork, some of the decorations, and the little tie, along with the tag. So you get all of these pieces and also some of those little drippy edges, I guess. And so you get so many pieces. I didn't even use all of them today. So I ended up cutting out this one with some gray cardstock, and now I'm going to ink around the edges with some black ink. This is black soot, and I think that that really gives it kind of a spooky feeling, and it looks really great. So I love adding the ink blending to this, and you can use any colors you want, of course, on your bottles. So I'm going to show you a variety of colors as we go through. But first what I did was I cut all of the pieces and then I ink blended them. And when I did this in a batch system like this, where I cut all the pieces and then I ink blended and then I put them all together, it was a lot faster. For those little corks, I'm going to use some brown ink around the edges, and that will just brighten that up a little, just like this. And then I'm also going to add some ink blending to those little worm looking things. There, we're finished with the corks there. Oh, I'll also use the brown around the edge of the tag. And I do end up stamping on that tag, and you'll see that a little later on. So I end up using some green for these little wormy looking things. Now you can also use these to look like smoke coming out of the bottle, or steam, or an odor. Today I'm using them to look like worms, so there's a lot of possibilities with this set. And then I'll use a little bit of purple on those drips. And now we can put all of this together. I will glue the top piece to the bottle using some liquid adhesive. So that just represents the liquid inside. We've got a little purple going on here with our liquid. I'm going to add that purple drippy piece right there. You can also add it to the top of the bottle, which I think looks really cool. And I'll show you some variations on this. And now I'm going to glue on those corks just to the top. And I'm trying to do this very similar to both of these pieces, because one will be for the front and one for the back of the same bottle. So you can see I have cut out two pieces for one of the gift boxes. And now I'll glue on those decoration pieces. For this one, I'm going to use the poison label, just like this. And I want to add the little inside pieces to the O, and there's two O's and a P that have those little inside pieces. So I'm just going to kind of add some glue and then knock them out. They stayed in my die cut. So I'm just going to knock them out using my little pokey tool here and add those. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's certainly optional. But I wanted to add those, so there's that little tiny piece for the first letter here. And you can see on the Toxic, there's only one letter, the O, that you need to add those to. So the Toxic is a little bit easier to piece that in. So it just depends what look you're going for. Now I'm going to add those little worm pieces, and I'm going to add the tag right onto the little tie piece. And then we can glue both of those on together so that that will be threaded through, and it will look like it's coming through that little ribbon or bow decorative piece, just like that. And that looks really cute. These pieces that came out of the cork, I thought might be cute to decorate the bottle as well. So I'm going to use those on the back of the bottle. That way it's a 3D piece, so if you turn it around, you're going to see some of these bubbles back there. So just another idea for you. Now we can go ahead and add the box, and I'm just going to glue the box to the front and the back. To do this, I'm going to use the side that I added those tabs and put the glue on that side, add it to the back of the bottle, and I'm putting this as far down as it will go so that it still doesn't show on the front. So I did leave a little bit of space at the bottom, and you'll see, I'll hold this up for you in a minute. And I'm just lining those up so that it stands up straight. And there you have your little gift box. And now you can add whatever candy or trinkets you want to the inside. So I did make a lot of these. You can see I die cut everything all at once. And I used this stamp set from the Terrific Halloween Tickets stamp to stamp on those little tags. So it says October 31st on there with a little decoration. It's really cute. There's a bat on there. It says admit one. Very cute. So everything is cut and ready to go. And I cut all of my squares now, and I'm just adding the score lines, and then I'll go through and fold and cut and put those all together at once and make a whole bunch of these bottles. And I love them all lined up. And here you can see that I've cut the little triangle on both sides of the tab piece, as I mentioned before, and I just felt like they came together a little easier when I did it that way. So there is a look at that, and then I'll go and put all the boxes together all at once. And here I've just put them all together. You can see that the candy fits in perfectly. I think I will add some gummy worms too, because it kind of matches those little worms in the bottle on the front. I thought that would be cool. So look at all these bottles I've made, lots of different ones. I'm going to use these for a Halloween party, so I didn't feel like they all needed the poison or toxic labels, so some of them I left without. And now I want to show you some of the other ideas I had. I've got these embellished tags that I made with some brighter Halloween happy colors. And I stamped a spider web on the inside of these little shakers. And I cut out the little sentiments using this Mix and Mingle alphabet die. I love creating my own. So here we have a spooky, an eep, and a newt. And then I used, that was the stamps that I used for the spider webs. And then I used this die set to cut out the little tabs that they're on, or the little labels that they're on. And I think those turned out really cute. Now, of course, I had to do a faux shaker with those washi stickers. So here we have some toad warts. This is the washi stickers that I used for that one. And I just added some half bead pearls to the inside. And of course, my ideas won't stop, because the pickled eyeballs, I'm going to make that one a little later, and I'll show that to you as well. So there's the toad warts, and I added a little frog on the front with something from my stash, a die from my stash that I had. And then for these ones, I thought this stencil would be so cool. This is the layered Terrific Ticket stencil. And I thought it would be cool to make Frankenstein and then build my own sentiment that says, "Let me be Frank." And then "Hey Pumpkin" for this one, and then "Boo" for the ghost one. And of course, I added some extra embellishments. This is the mini Jack's die, so I used one of those little pumpkins for this one. And I don't know if you can tell in this video, but I did cut the corks out of some real cork paper, and it looks amazing in real life. I also used the cork paper around the for the little bow on that one. Then I had to turn one into a poison bottle. You also get this little skull and crossbones, and I use this stamp set that says "Trick Bad, Candy Good." And then the Whimsy collaboration stamp set from last year for those little candies. And then that behind there is the treasure map die, and I embossed the skeleton in the background there. And I just love how this turned out. I added some shiny elements to around that poison bottle using some texture paste. So that was fun. Now, don't go away yet, because I have a couple more to share. I thought I was done with this video, and then I went and made some more. And so now I'm going to show those to you. Here's the zombie elixir using the stamp set that matches. So I used that zombie elixir, and of course I had to make the pickled eyeballs, and see how I put the little drippy part on the top of the bottle this time with a few eyeballs. I think it looks cool like that as well. So I think that's all I have to share. I don't know. They're going to keep coming. But the potion bottle die for sure has been one of my favorites to play with this release. I love it so much. And I'm not done yet. You can be sure you'll be seeing a few more from me on these. If you have any questions about the products or the details, go ahead and click the link below to see the description, and I will link all the products for you. That way you can take a look if you're interested. But here's a close-up of a lot of the products, and you can see how they came together. So much fun. So much fun to play with. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did and you liked all the ideas, give it a thumbs up and let me know which one's your favorite or what you are thinking of making with these potion bottle dies. I would love to see your makes and hear from you. And I hope you'll come back again and again. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time. I'll be back to share some more inspiration real soon. Until then, happy crafting. See you next time. Bye-bye.